demonstration from brutality. With our black nation, a reality.
This is my perspective, it's my perspective, my perspective, my perspective, my perspective, my perspective, my perspective, it's my perspective, my perspective, my perspective, my perspective, my perspective, my perspective, it's my perspective, my perspective, is my perspective. And welcome to another episode of the New African Perspective, the show dedicated to the liberation of new African people. I am your host, Brother Prophecy, and ride with me always. I got the powerful queens,
Mama Ayo,
and we are part of something called the New African Independence Movements. That's right, you know what I'm saying? We advocate for land, independence, self-determination, reparation, all of that good stuff right there. But the Queens. So y'all also have another podcast going on. Tell the people where else they can hear from you.
you can reach us usually on Monday evenings. Yeah, we may be changing it to Tuesday. At the Rhythm of Life Wellness Ministry on Facebook. We are on our particular show. We represent the Ministry of Health and Society within the Republic of New Africa, and we deal with all aspects of New African health. Everything from all angles in terms of how physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, socially, how all of that affects our well-being as New Africans.
No doubt, no doubt. Make sure you check them out. And you can also check me out every Sunday from 11:30 to 12:30 on the Voices of New Africa, right here locally in Memphis, Tennessee, a.k.a. also better known as Oughta-Be Web City, you know what I'm saying? I'm there every week with Brother Akin, Brother Kakayi, and New Edition Sister Queen Jashira. You know what I'm saying? So check us out. We do our thing there also. But Sister Ma'at, what do we got on tap for the show tonight?
Okay, so we always start off with our Cadre Corner. And within our Cadre Corner today, we will be discussing the wonderful book that is one of our foundational documents, The Foundations of the Black Nation, written by Dr. Imari Obadele. And we will be discussing our topic for the day, is voting the key to our liberation?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yes, because we are in voting season.
It is
Many
voting
of us.
season.
Time for that.
No doubt.
And in our Black Power Files, we will be discussing the infamous Chokwe Lumumba.
Chokwe Lumumba, that's what I'm saying. No
Yes,
doubt.
Free the
First
land.
up, we're going to talk about what's in the news, y'all.
Okay, what's been going on? What's been going on in the news?
Well, I just wanted to remind everybody that one of our heroes, one of our political prisoners, Dr. or I should say Jalil Mutakim, after 49 years, y'all, of being incarcerated, being accused of helping to murder 2 police officers, then incarcerated. He was part of the Black Panther movement, the BLA. He has been released. We are so happy. Thank you, Baba. We are sending good feelings to you. Of course, he will not be making any public appearances. He just wants to spend some time after 49 years with his family, get his health back up, because you and I know that being behind the walls, political prisoner, you're not going to come out of being incarcerated that long in the best of health. So we want to wish you well. We want to wish you, speedy recovery so that you can come out and tell your story.
No doubt, no doubt. That is great. That is great news,
Yes.
because see, like too many times we look at our political prisoners, and for a second there's a lot of hype, a lot of energy, free Mumia, free, whoever, you know what I'm saying? And then after a while it just dies down. But even though the hype is going away, these brothers are still enduring this prison sentence. You know what I'm saying? So we always have to keep their name out there. We always have to keep giving them love, to understand we have not forgotten about you. You know what I'm saying? Because too many times we don't have happy endings to our stories. So that's great. Good to see the brother is out, you know what I'm saying? And just, enjoy, the time being outside of the prison walls, you know what I'm saying? So, we love you, brother. Good to have you out.
And thank everybody for keeping the movement going, because there's been many petitions, calls to action, and it's all because of collective effort. So
Yes, and I just want to commend our dear elder brother for training many warriors behind the walls, because we've met some powerful warriors coming out who have most definitely given all the props to you, our dear elder. So we thank you so much for doing that work despite all.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Let's see what else. Did you hear about the brother Cal Rittenhouse? This is the guy the white young man who came to a protest, and he killed two people. He shot three people with an AR-15, killing two of them, and he walked straight past the police officer and went home. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he actually stopped and had a brief conversation with one of the police officers, and he went home. He was part of one of these white militia groups. In fact, during the protest, this militia group was actually, being aided by the police. They were giving them bottled water and saying, "Yo, thank you for coming out. We appreciate what you're doing." So it was like they were hand in hand with this armed militia white extremist group, which are really the true definition of terrorists. You know what I'm saying? But an update on his particular case, they just said that charges would not be filed against him for a particular gun charge. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear anything about the murder charges, but they say they won't be filing any charges for, like, it's a gun, and I'm not sure of the details, but he was being charged with a particular it was a question of whether the gun he had, did he legally transport it from point A to point B or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't have the particular detail, but this story just dropped. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hearing about it now, and probably by the time this airs, we'll have more information. But, it's just a reminder that of the contradiction between how black people and white people are treated in this society. You know what I'm saying? The protest was for Jacob Blake, a brother who was going to his car and was shot 7 times in the back in front of his children. You know what I'm saying? The police shot him in the back for going to his car. That was what the protest was for. At this protest for this inhumane act is a white man who is armed. Jacob Blake was not armed. This white man had an assault rifle. That's what you use in the military. That is a war weapon. That's not for self-defense. That's for self-offense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And this white guy, shoots 3 people, killing 2 of them, walks straight past the police while people are saying, "Hey, dude just killed some people." And the police just let him go home. You know what I'm saying? So, what any thoughts about that?
Well, my initial thought is, y'all, it has never been illegal to kill black people in this country. When has it been deemed illegal to kill black people in this country? You know what I'm saying? We're still dealing with the same racist, white supremacist, capitalist nation that is founded on slavery.
And we still are practicing under the slave codes. We really, really are. They have not gone away. It's just modernized.
Yeah,
that's it. It's just modernized. It's the same thing. It's not illegal here to kill black people, obviously. I mean, are we not seeing it? Time after time after time, and we begging and pleading for, look, we want justice. That's not what this is about.
It reminds me of something that our shining prince, Brother Malcolm X, said. He said that America is a colonial system, and it's the worst type of colonial system because it pretends to be something other than it really is. It pretends that you have freedom when you're actually just a second-class citizen. Yeah. He said he can respect other nations. They come out and say, "Yes, this is what we are. This is what we are about," instead of being hypocrites about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's it's obvious. You know what I'm saying?
Very glaring example of white privilege. I mean, acceptance. You think about the case when the young man went into the church and shot all these black parishioners, and the police took him to have something to eat. Those are glaring. And then you look at Breonna Taylor and you break down the door and shoot up the place while they're in their bedroom watching a movie, having intimate time. It's a glaring contradiction, and we have to be aware of it. It's like every one of us who is a new African, at any given point in time, we could be killed without impunity.
So also something that's really interesting is what's going on with the Boogaloo movement. Y'all aware of what's going on with the Boogaloo movement? So, okay.
Is that a dance or what?
Well, it actually was a movie called Electric Boogaloo. You know what I'm saying? I used to love it. You know.
My mama, she said she won a dance contest doing the Boogaloo in the 70s.
Oh my gosh.
But no, actually, Boogaloo is actually a term, a code word, which means civil war or race war, used by a lot of white supremacists slash white right-wing extremist groups. And a lot of attention has been drawn to like some of the things that the president has done, Donald Trump, because like during the debate, he actually sent like instructions to one of these extremist groups, the Proud Boys, when he was asked to condemn white supremacy. He said he said to them, stand back and stand by, which simply means get ready. Well, I mean, as we all know, if we seen in the news just last week, there was actually a terrorist plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, as well as to kill several police, and really to take over the entire state government over in Michigan by a group by the name of the Wolverine Watchmen. Now, this is one of these white supremacist, or I should say extremist groups this actively trying to bring about a civil war. This stated in their manifesto, in their agenda. That's what they're trying to do. As a matter of fact, one of the leaders, his name was Boogaloo Dunyon. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This guy, he was one of the leaders who organized it, and they, like I said, they had detailed plans. They had thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment. They had maps, blueprints to her vacation home. They was about to go, and they was planning on doing it before the election. And it's just a reminder that there are elements in this country who have been planning and plotting for years. You know what I'm saying? We've seen it. We've all went to the gun shows. We went to survival training camps. And when you go to the places like this, you see white people, not just white people, them good old boys with their children, 9, 8, 10 years old, holding AR-15s, and can use them. You know what I'm saying? And for years and years, we've been telling people, look, who they training to kill? They're training to kill your babies. And this is just interesting when you look at not only what Donald Trump said about stand by and stand back, but at the Republican convention, Mike Pence, the vice president, actually talked about they're not gonna tolerate violence at protests, and he made mention of a police killing, of somebody who killed the police, but he didn't mention that the individual who killed this police was part of an organization called the Boogaloo Boys. In fact, one of their strategy is to kill police in hopes that like black people will be blamed for it, therefore giving a justification for law enforcement to come down on black people and facilitate this race war. And like I said, the vice president talked about this, really advocated the whole strategy, implementing it, so it's interesting because we've been saying, we got to get ready. We got to be prepared. We have our eyes open for what's going on. But what are y'all thoughts about that?
So my first question is, what really is their goal and objective? Because looking at it objectively, say, boom, you kill as many black folks as you possibly can, right? For what? Specifically when black folks is your lifeline. The melanin blood is your lifeline. Because if you kill off black folks, you're already fucking allergic to nature, okay? You talking about your birth rate is low. You're gonna die off, period. Period. So for what? Like have they actually thought it out clearly? You understand what I'm saying? Is that you just want to be separate? Cause I'm in agreement. Go where the fuck you need to be. You understand what I'm saying? But you got to get up out of here because this don't belong to you. You need to go back to the Caucasus Mountains. Claim what's yours. Claim what's yours. I'm for you claiming what's yours.
No doubt.
Claim what's yours.
And if they're talking about a race war, are they talking about just exterminating new Africans? Are you talking about exterminating the indigenous that call themselves the Blackamoors, the Washita, Olatanji Washita? Are you talking about exterminating Japanese, Vietnamese, Chinese, Filipinos? Are you still talking about having a race war against the Hebrew people? Who is the race war specifically geared for? And at the end of the day, I agree with Sa. First of all, you're genetically recessive. Weatherization, this flu, even though it's saying it's affecting a lot of new Africans, it's basically hitting you hard because you're already in a state of decline. And you're talking about you just not being in harmony with the earth. You're going to go down. And just like Malcolm, I don't turn the other cheek. We don't turn the other cheek. You start this war, bring it. Because we're going to be here from every new African independence movement, for the organizations who are here. The call is out. Be on alert. We're talking about the Blackamoors. We're talking about the Hebrew Israelites. We're talking about the Nation of Islam. We're talking about all sectors. Be on alert to defend and protect.
And it really brings home the really need in this day and time for true black unity, and start getting rid of this, putting these ideological differences aside, because you named several organizations who all, are pro-black or pro-African, melanated people here in the United States, but for whatever reason can't never really get together to achieve a common goal. You know what I'm saying? And I would go farther than just to say these organizations with nationalist sentiments. I would say call to arms to all of the GDs, Vice Lords, Crips, Bloods, all that, because these street organizations, they're the one who have our youth. They're already organized. They already have a structure to them. And if they understand the original intent of most street games, they were created to protect the community against outside white supremacist aggressors. So, hey brothers, you're here. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be terrorists to our own people. It's time for us to unite, band together, and do what we should have been doing from day one. But this is the New African Perspective. We'll be right back with the Cadre Corner right after this. Free the land.
Jones. Try to show y'all a different perspective, a different point of view. See this?
No need to beg and plead for your freedom, independence, and our ultimate happiness. We are building our own black nation by freeing our land, working our land, building collectively, and strengthening the black family unit. Our goal is land, independence, and self-determination. Vote within your own black nation, the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa, October 23rd through the 25th, 2020. Call right now, 859-953-4234 for your mail-in ballot, or visit the Facebook page, Republic of New Africa, for more information. Free the land by any means necessary.
Corner, take one.
Study the writings, speeches, documents of our freedom fighters in order to free our neo-colonialized minds. This is the Cadre Corner. Okay, today we're going to be discussing another book, of course, written by one of the most prolific leaders of the New African Independence Movement, one of our presidents of the Republic of New Africa, and of course that is talking about the foundations of the nation. This book is kind of a compilation of writings that was done by Obadeli while he was in Hinds County Jail, which of course is in Jackson, Mississippi, known as Medgar Eversville. So he breaks the book into two really critical sections. One is based on theory, his writings, and the second is based on practice. So one of the topics is that the struggle is for land, which of course is a separate document that we'll find, that we'll talk about later. Another topic that he discusses in the book is New African marriage. He also talks about the political climate of many of the counties in Mississippi and his idea and his vision of, or his suggestions about what should be done if we are to seize political power. He also goes on to talk about, he sends a letter in 1972, because remember these documents are starting from 1968 going forward, and he talks about African Liberation Day, which you know is one of the main events that the All African People's Revolutionary Party promoted back in the day. And then he talks about in a section proposals of a black agenda, and he's speaking about political power in that particular chapter. Then he goes on towards the end of the book and he kind of puts suggestions. One of the topics that he discusses is the anti-depression program of the Republic of New Africa. And then he has a section where he actually writes a letter to black newspapers and radios, citing what their responsibilities should be to the nation. This book is so comprehensive because many of us are under a program in the Republic of New Africa called Work, Study, and Training. For further information, you probably need to go to our website, which is, we have a new website, y'all, www.pg-rna, and you register.com, thank you.com, and you register and you can pull up some of these documents. We hope to have a full view of what our study program and the documents are over the next few weeks, but go in there, check it out, register, be a part of nation building.
All right, excellent cadre corner. Foundations of the Black Nation. You say, hopefully we will have all of these books listed in our new website. Give that website again.
www.pg-rna.com.
Okay, no doubt. So go check us out. Learn something about the Republic of New Africa, the provisional government of the Republic of New Africa, and educate yourself and support what we're doing. But so I guess it's time for us to kind of get into our main topic of the day. You know what I'm saying? Especially nowadays, we have elections going on. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, when are the elections for the PGRNA?
They are actually coming up next weekend, October 23rd through the 25th, 2020.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I mean, locally, how can you get it? You can.
Locally, if you are in Ida B. Wells, Memphis, Tennessee, we are going to be located on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Smooth Living, 1263 Winchester. Is that the address?
Yes.
On Friday, the time is it 2 to 6? Saturday, 10 to 2, and Sunday, 12 to 4.
Okay, no doubt. Great. Big ups to Clemente and Smooth Living for opening up his venue for us to do what we do. You know what I'm saying? Big shouts out to him. But speaking of elections, they're actually, also in November, the election of the American Empire, where you have Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, and everybody's excited and people are talking about go out and vote. It's your duty. If you don't, then you're betraying your whatever, blah, 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 blah. So, the question that we have today that we want to discuss is voting actually the key to our liberation? What are your thoughts? Anybody.
That's a really big question because as I say, I believe on standing on the shoulders of the ancestors. I know that people died. I know that people marched. I know that people, laid their family and the community open to a lot of abuse, attacks to gain the vote. That presupposes that we felt that the vote would make a change. And we need to ask ourselves, well, if you have Donald Trump and if you have Joe Biden, which part of evil are you going to want? Which is going to be the greater or the lesser evil? Because they're both going to end up evil. Our condition as new Africans in this country, the descendants of African slaves, is not going to change. We've marched, we've integrated, we have done everything to show that we are human, that we are intelligent. We've invented everything that this country is based on. And yet our condition, the system, does not change for us. So when you talk about a political system, I think it's time for us to think about establishing a political party that represents new Africans, particularly in those counties, those cities, those states which that new Africans are a majority. And we ultimately, at the end of the day, begin to think about transferring our political power to the 5 states in the South. And that's my standpoint.
And even within transferring our black political power to the 5 states in the South, we have to be extremely strategic in that.
Yes.
Because as we're going to discuss later, Chokwe Lumumba down in Jackson, Mississippi, if you don't have your political party is not covering every single position, yes, you're going to leave loopholes in this particular system. That's why we say all remedies within this system has been exhausted, because we've put everything to the test. Every single thing. And no, our ancestors did not just solely die to vote. They died because they thought the vote was going to gain them some type of freedom or some type of liberation, some type of human right, So it's voting. Black people voting in this country, we've done that. What has it gotten us? If the principle, the foundation of this country is what it is, we know what the foundation is of this particular country. It's always going to be that. That's the fabric. That's what it is. Leave it be. We can build our own. That's what we're doing. Join the Republic of New Africa if you want freedom and human rights and to build for self.
And I would add to that, and this is, especially when you said, our ancestors didn't simply die for the right to vote. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we get things twisted because we don't understand tactics and strategies. Voting was a strategy. It was never the goal.
That's right.
The goal is ultimate, has been and has always been the ultimate liberation of our people. That's the goal. They figured that, voting is a step toward that direction. And maybe if we have the right to vote, then we can get people in that is more receptive to our issues. And maybe we can get some laws changed, some things done that will allow us to move closer to our general goal of overall liberation. But we've got it twisted where now you feel voting was the goal. Right. You know what I'm saying? And simply the only thing you have to do to affect change is to go out and vote for your new oppressor. You can choose Satan or the devil, which one you want to implement the policies of the American empire.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
we agree with that.
That's incorrect thinking, because that's never the goal. That's never the goal. And if you look at the political system, and now I will say this, I do think that there is opportunity for on the local level, as far as you can be a part of grassroots organization and you can actually get to maybe local politicians and maybe you can do something. You know what I'm saying? But when you're looking at a national election, basically you're looking at a left wing and a right wing. They're two wings of the same bird. And what we're not focusing on is that bird of oppression, which is the system that is killing us all. You know what I'm saying? These two wings are basically created to make sure that the system stays afloat. You know, and actually, you know, when you look at the president, you're voting for a personality. You don't even elect the president. You elect the electoral college. So you know, it's like a whole myth. You know, it looks like the whole voting is just something to get people the illusion that they're actually participating in changing things. Because if you believe that going out and voting, you know, I'm not saying don't vote, don't do it. Do whatever you want to. But don't believe that just because you went out and vote, you've done your part to change the condition. If you want to change your condition, get off your tail. Go join an organization that is advocating for those things that you want changed. And then if there is not an organization that exists, then you go create one.
And when you do join a black organization, you got to be willing to do the work. It doesn't change, don't come out of osmosis. For some reason, we feel like it just come out of osmosis. We put in a vote and then boom, magically something happens. No, you have to be willing to put in the work, 100% committed to do the work necessary for the change. And a lot of times that work is doing that self-work to change your mind, change your being so that you will be able to build whatever, to be able to implement whatever, to be able to execute whatever with the collective. And that's really, really, really important, because that's what we face a lot of times in our black organizations and in nation building.
And that's why I'm saying that a black political party has to be discussed very, very seriously, because we're not talking about trying to be black capitalists. We're trying to institute those goals and those principles that helped us build after slavery was ended. We had to put together our townships very quickly. And how did we do that? Cooperative economics, collective work and responsibility, holding each other accountable. When we elect our so-called politicians, you have to have an eye for your people. You have to keep an eye out for them. You have to know that you have to let them know what's going on. And that is not what is happening in a capitalistic society in some of these black townships, and like Memphis. Memphis has the oldest black community in America, Orange Mound. And at one time they had everything they needed. Why? Because we were segregated. We were told not to come and do business with the white man. So we were able to build those townships. However, and also during Reconstruction, we had congressmen and mayors that were doing great jobs. And what happened? They eventually killed them off, ran them off. That's what this nation did during that time. So it's no different in my mind, because right now we're at a critical point where we have black politicians. We have the Black Caucus. Are they performing in our interests as new African people, descendants of slaves in this country? And when they don't, we have the right to send them somewhere. So a black political party is critical as we go forward over these next few years.
And you made you made several great points. One thing that I want to kind of talk about is, you said we're not trying to create a capitalist society. And I think we really have to understand that, because a lot of people say, well, the system is broke. The system's not broke. The system is working exactly the way it was designed to work.
Absolutely.
We just don't understand what the system, how the system was designed to work. And we have to understand, America's not a democracy. America's not even a republic. America is a corporatocracy. The corporations run America. Big business run America. That's who run your politicians. People think that presidents and politicians are accountable to the voters. No, they're accountable to major lobbyists, special interest groups, because that's who pay them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, we don't even, first of all, people, especially black people, we always run to the Democratic Party. There's absolutely no reason whatsoever that a Democrat has to ever do anything for a black person, because their from their perspective is, who you gonna vote for? A Republican? Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, just the whole concept of how we approach voting is backwards. So I'm with you all 100%, but we have to understand that the true enemy is not an individual president, regardless to whether it is Barack Obama or Donald Trump or Biden or Clinton or whoever it is. The actual enemy is the system. And presidents are not put in place to change the system. They're put in place to maintain the system.
Absolutely.
Now, even if that's Barack Obama who needs to calm things down because everybody's pissed off at what George Bush did and recolonize Africa, which Barack Obama did and nobody said anything about. You know what I'm saying? Secretly, just like 1884 with the Berlin Conference, this whole Afrikan thing happened right
under our noses.
And
Under a black president.
Nobody said anything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because
that was the perfect cover-up, though.
Yes, it was.
The perfect cover-up, because all black folks cared about was seeing a black face there.
In the White House.
That's all black folks cared about.
Exactly. So it's like, I always say, don't we deserve more than always having to pick the lesser of two evils? And not even just the lesser of two evils, the perceived lesser of two evils.
Absolutely.
Because they're all going to promote the interests of the system. And if you understand capitalism is not for the working class. It is for the ruling elite. Even if that means at the expense and exploitation of everyone else. And every president is going to promote that agenda. I don't care how good they look, how good they sound. That's the reality. So it's time for us to do something different.
Absolutely. I'm total agreement. Total agreement.
Yes.
Total agreement.
Yes, and for all the black folks that's talking about about the black dollar and black business and all, we have to really, really, really change the way that we're looking at our economics. We have to change that. We cannot be black capitalists and think we're going to affect change, because capitalists, if you're a capitalist, you uphold the system. You are adding to upholding the system. So we have to look at ourselves in self-check.
And if you're a black capitalist, that means you're trying to be a collective that wants all the money, and the people at the bottom, the proletariat, the lumpen proletariat, has nothing. And that's not what that's not our spirituality. That's not the way we have been to each other and with each other in history. We are collective. We take care of the community. Everyone deserves a house. Everyone deserves free education. Everyone deserves free medical care. Everyone needs to have their basic needs met, and that will be done by the state, which allows for more creativity, which allows for more leisure, which allows for growth and happiness. And that's what we're trying to seek in that type of environment.
No doubt, no doubt. Yes. What you're talking about is something called scientific socialism. Don't let it frighten you away. You know what I'm saying? Because we always talk about the system. It's obvious. That's one beautiful thing about COVID-19. It has exposed a lot of contradictions within this system, a lot of inefficiencies in how it works in general. But it's not good enough to just say the system is broken. We got to understand what that system is, how it works, and how it affects us on a day-to-day basis. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? If in order to come up with true solutions. So I think that was a good discussion. But next up, we're going to have some powerful words from one of our great ancestors, great freedom fighters on our Black Power File coming up next right here at the New African Perspective.
Comrade Chokwe.
Jones. Try to show y'all a different perspective, a different point of view. See, this is how I see the world. Imagine your life with no leaders, scholars, freedom fighters, all those soldiers who've been struggling for the liberation of black people. This is the Black Power File.
But we've got to end this slavery.
That's right.
We've got to end this colonization.
That's right.
Mutulu Shakur wants to be free.
Yeah.
But not just to be free for himself. Suli Allah and Sekou. Asada wants to come home. N.A.P wants to come home. The Puerto Ricans want to be free. But they not only want their personal freedom, they want the freedom, the absolute freedom of their people.
That's right. Come on,
That's
boy.
why there can be no compromise.
That's right. Come on. That's right. No compromise. That's right. Come on.
And we fight not only for the independence of New Africa, but we say that the whole empire's got to go.
That's right. Come on,
This is
boy.
a movement
That's right. Come on.
to dismantle the empire,
All right.
to take it apart.
Take it apart.
We understand that God didn't give them the right to take the upper part of Mexico.
All right.
There's no such thing as the white man's manifest destiny.
That's right. Come on, boy. Talk to me. Come on. That's right.
I must end now to give others who have things more worthy to say this time to speak. But on behalf of the New African Peoples Organization, on behalf of the Malcolm X grassroots movement, and on behalf of the Liberation Front, on behalf of the New African Independence Movement, this is not the last time we must come.
That's right.
We must go wherever we must be. And we must storm our Bastille.
That's right. Come on.
We must take them apart. We must take this energy that our people are displaying when they come to this march. And we must concretize that energy. We must take it from the mystical, from the mysterious, from the undefined, from the uncertain. We must make it clear that we are not Americans, we are the victims of Americanism.
That's right.
We are the sons and daughters of Queen Mother Moore and of Malcolm X. And we will have our independence. Free the land!
Free the land.
Free the land!
Free the land.
Free the land!
Free the land.
All right, and that is our Black Power file, the infamous Chokwe Lumumba. What y'all think about that?
Well, he's just one of my heroes. He has such a, I think he's probably one of the more brilliant minds, particularly when you talk about international politics, local politics. He was a great lawyer, and of course, you know, he ultimately put forth that movement from theory to practice. When we say free the land for real, he established the Republic of New Africa's capital, which is amazing. I think it's amazing. He has written several books. He has been a part of the RNA, second vice president at one time, went on to form other organizations, the Malcolm X Grassroots, part of N.A.P, as well as
Tell people what N.A.P is.
New African Peoples Organization, N.A.P, yes. And he was a spokesperson for many, many years, and he has been an integral part of building the New African Independence Movement. You know, he has served a long time in that capacity.
Yeah, he actually was the mayor of Medgar Eversville, Jackson, Mississippi, and he was known as the most revolutionary mayor in America. I remember looking at a piece on him on Democracy Now, you know, because you know his son is the mayor now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think what's so interesting to me is, like Mama Ayo said, he was very, very a major part of putting Black political power into practice.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? In Jackson.
Yes.
And because of that, okay, Jackson, Mississippi is going through a lot of different transitions and changes. I know when he came into that position, a lot of the different businesses that were there moved out to West Jackson. To all I'm talking about, literally to attempt to starve the city.
Absolutely.
Of resources, right?
And
Because
jobs.
that's what happens. Like, we have to be prepared for that, because that is what's going to happen.
Yes.
We have seen that when we studied the different liberation movements on the continent, and we've seen that in Jackson through and through, and you still see it.
Yes.
Till this day. You still see it.
Lingering effects.
I think Baba Chokwe was really, really like just a great had great drive, because if he seen a need, he's going to fulfill it. Like with N.A.P,
Yes.
he saw the need for something more grassroots that's going to be able to reach the people more so and affect change amongst the new African people. And so we can have a quote unquote constituency that's in alignment with the goals and objectives of the new African independence movement. So anything that was necessary to do, like when the RNA 11 got arrested and convicted, that motivated him. I got to go back to law school. I got to go to law school. I have to be able to put myself in a position to do something.
Yeah, and he actually had some instrumental victories, because he successfully defended like 16 brothers who were involved in a prison riot, and he was involved in the defense for Geronimo Pratt.
Absolutely.
Yes, and to your point, how when he became mayor, and they basically tried to starve him out as far as the resources are concerned. It's important to understand that, because whenever black people reach a certain level of independence and autonomy from the white power structure, then we become an even bigger threat, because we're already a threat automatically based on the very nature of our existence here in America. But the last thing that an American power structure wants to see is black people being empowered and independent of their control.
And I wanted to add that Chokwe had a brilliant lawyer mind. You talked about him defending, but also he had a book that he wrote with Nkechi Taifa and Mario Badeli, and it's entitled Reparations Now. So we're talking about also him defending the right for enslaved Africans to receive reparations and to utilize those reparations to help build the land, somewhat like a Marshall Plan, but we'll call it the Obadeli Plan, to rebuild the 5 states in the South, and to put those monies into, the need for us to rebuild, to restructure, and to support our nation. So he was brilliant strategist. Because in order for you to come into Jackson, to win the vote, because he won by going to the people voted him in, and to let them know right from the beginning, this is our strategy and tactics. He never made any bones about it. He always said free the land, and we were claiming Jackson as the capital of the Republic of New Africa. And I yield.
No doubt. So that's excellent Black Power file, our brother Chokwe Lumumba.
Yes.
And I think we had a really good show. How y'all feel about our second episode?
Oh, it's just growing and getting better. I'm getting more comfortable.
Oh, hey, you was comfortable from day one. You got on the mic and just...
I'm so excited. Like, us having this discussion is making me really, really excited about our Cadre Corner, because a lot of the documentation we'll be presenting in the Cadre Corner, specifically the economic plan that we are discussing. Ujamaa, I can't wait till we go over that.
That's exactly.
No doubt. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yes.
We got a lot more in store for you. But I guess we want to wrap it up with just our perspective. You know how you beautifully sung that at the beginning. So we're gonna end it up with a little bit of our perspective. So
just do the work. Do the work, the internal work, to free up your insecurities, free up anything that has hurt you, so that you can be of service to yourself, your family, your nation, and your race, and to help us free the land. Do your work.
Yes. I want to say ashe on that one, because that's the main thing. That work is the main. It's like when we go through work study training, and when we are working to become cadre, when it's time to implement all of our beautiful theory, that's the test, is the work. Being able to execute the plan is always, because that's when that's where you are actually doing the work of shedding the colonized mindset, of shedding the enslaved mindset, because you are claiming your freedom through actually doing the work.
Ashe.
So, yes. That's always the test. I yield.
No doubt. Since we've been talking about voting, let me tie what y'all said with what we've been talking about, because regardless to what you do, what your position is on voting, go out and vote, do your thing. But after you vote, regardless to who wins, whether it's Satan or the devil, whether it's dumb or dumber, or dumber regardless to who wins, you have not done your part to affect change. That's when it really starts. So get off of the couch, turn off the football game. You don't even have to look at the Cowboys no more because the quarterback broke his ankle. So you ain't got to worry about that no more. So, put the PlayStation down and hit the ground, and let's organize. Let's mobilize, and let's put, like you said, the theories into action.
Yes.
Absolutely.
For New African Perspectives, I'm Brother Prophecy with the Queen Sister Ma'at and Mama Ayo. Free the land, family. See y'all next week.
By any and all means necessary.
I will.
Imagine your life with no drama. You live with no trauma. Your chest got more cum. Live in our own nation. You see, there's no wonder how we could be free with our flag. We roll on. We part of the whole summer. Help care for your mom. We have our own leaders that look like Obama, but think like Malcolm X and spoke with more thunder. What I'm saying is we can make a real war come. War, self-hate.